Hello everybody, it is Emery48 here and welcome back to another Food Friday reaction. Uh, this might be the last one for like a week, I don't know. I am currently at ScapeCon 2 right now as this video is live. So that's why there's been a lot of reactions as I've been getting videos ready ahead for this week. We are going to be back on the Joshua Weissman channel. I enjoyed the video for last week, and I found he has a mac and cheese one, so we're doing mac and cheese. But first, yet again, back with the subscriber numbers. It's improved slightly. We are below 90% not subscribed by 0.2. So still keep subscribing as it does help. I am back on the Joshua Weissman channel again today because I wanted to change up channels every reaction and maybe revisit later, but I recorded one that got copyright blocked, which I'd never seen before, because it was a BuzzFeed related channel about to eat. Still enjoy the channel, but I can't do any reactions from them on here. So we are on Joshua Weissman, and this one is $1 fancy mac and cheese, but cheaper. And I enjoyed his video with Uncle Roger that I reacted to for last week, and I wanted to see one of his solo videos to see if it's still just as good.
So mac and cheese isn't really expensive when you go to the store, but it sucks. But when you go to a restaurant, when it's great, it's this much for one bowl. When you could be making it at home just as fancy for this price right here. That is but cheaper.
Cool.
So as I said, when you go to a restaurant, you get yourself a nice...
Cinematically, that intro looks a lot like it took some inspiration from Binging with Babish, but is also its own thing, which is really cool.
fancy mac and cheese. There are whole mac and cheese dedicated restaurants, and they're great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to knock them. They're fantastic. You don't have to make it. All sorts of flavors. But it is expensive. I've seen $25 mac and cheese for a single bowl. Bro, what? Inflation is real. Do you read The Economist? I don't. But what I do want you to know, this entire pasta dish, this entire macaroni dish can be just as fancy, just as cheesy, just as good, have that baked quality that everybody knows and loves. Just a small price. Don't you want to save money? I'm assuming you do because you're on this series. Or maybe you just watch. Hey, thanks for the dedication, okay? With all that said, let's make this, shall we? This is gonna be a quick one, so you're welcome. We recently had a conversation of homemade pasta versus store-bought. What's cheaper? Is there a better one? Tasting, blah, 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 blah. Really, there isn't a gigantic difference per serving in terms of price, so it comes down to what you really want. Texturally, of course, homemade's gonna be better, but a pasta extruder isn't exactly the most cost-effective thing in the world. So, with all that being said, 1 pound of macaroni it is. I hope I don't need to over-explain boiling pasta here, right? Bring a pot of water to a boil, season it aggressively with salt. You are always going to want to season it borderline as salty as the ocean. It is the secret of a proper pasta. Once it's at a vigorous boil, add in your macaroni and cook for just 1 minute under the original package directions, so around 8 to 9 minutes. Now while that's going, let's make our mac and cheese sauce, which from a culinary perspective is really just a Mornay sauce, so we've had this combo, but you know how I feel about that. First, in a large bowl, combine 2.5 cups or 470 grams of Monterey Jack cheese and 2.5 cups or 470 grams of sharp cheddar. Now, buying a whole block can sometimes and usually be less expensive than if you choose pre-grated. And also pre-grated really sucks. I mean, it is awful for this purpose. Now salsa that together until thoroughly combined, and that's your cheese mixture. Next, in a large pot, add 1/2 cup or 112 grams of unsalted butter. Heat that over medium heat. And once all that butt is hot...
Did he add in that sound? There's no way that was the sound the butter made when it hit the pan. It sounded like he put in like a hit mark.
1/2 cup or 112 grams of unsalted butter. Heat that over medium heat. And once all that butt is hot and melted, whisk in 1/2 cup or 75 grams of all-purpose flour. Let that cook for 1 minute, stirring often, then gradually stream and whisk in 3 cups or 700 milliliters of whole milk and 1 cup or 240 milliliters of heavy cream. Whisk that together, and as soon as that is hot, add in 1.5 cups of your cheese, whisk that in until melted, then once melted, add in another 1.5 cups of your cheese, whisk that in until melted and hot, and that's your Mornay sauce. So silky and cheesy, it's as if the drapes of cheesy Valhalla are glazing the very earth that we stand upon. Then just season that to taste with salt. Optionally, you can add some fresh grated nutmeg, but that is completely optional and not necessary. So I'm not adding it to the price, all right? I'm not. Anyway, drain your macaroni, place that hot mac into your cheese sauce, and fold together until thoroughly combined and just lovely. Please coat this thoroughly. You know how I feel about having to talk about bald spots on chicken. Please. Anyway, get yourself a 9x13 baking dish, grease it lightly, add in half of your mac, followed by half of your remaining cheese, then the other half of your macaroni. Then optionally toss the remaining cheese before you top it with 2 teaspoons or 5 grams of fresh thyme leaves till thoroughly combined, and then finally add all of that to the top layer of your mac and cheese. And maybe you can add a little extra cheese if you want. But be aware, that will cost extra because you
Added extra.
Now, all you gotta do is pop it in the oven. Set to 350 Fahrenheit, which is also 176 degrees Celsius for 20 to 25 minutes, or till cheese is melted and bubbly. From there, you can either blast it with your broiler, or you can hit it with a kitchen torch until it's browned to your liking. Now, all that's left is a big, beautiful spoon, but nothing comedically large, I beg of you. Dunk it into your mac and observe the many, many cheese pulls worthy of an angel's tear. Plop that bad boy onto a plate, and let's find out if we made a mac and cheese for this price that can hold its own against a significantly more expensive counterpart. Okay, so we have macaroni and cheese. This is one of the most basic things in the world. It already comes cheap, as we all know, okay? But this is fancy. We made a roux, and then we made a bechamel, and then what else did we make? A Mornay sauce. Think Kraft is making a Mornay sauce? Oh. See, there's another trait about mac and cheese before I even eat it, and it's this. By the way, all I did was this. I just picked it up, and it was just like... There's so many layers and experiences of cheese in this. For this price per person, that's better than any store-bought box mac and cheese you're gonna get. You got multiple layers of texture. You have a little bit of chew from the cheese in the middle, the stretch, the crunch of the caramelized cheese on top, or bruleed, I should say. And of course, the macaroni is cooked perfectly. It has the right texture. You could replace the macaroni with any other pasta that you want, but this is obviously the cheapest option. If you want to raise the price slightly, but also have a different eating experience, you could use something like this, okay? But the choice is always yours. The only thing I want you to consider, kind of regret doing that, I wanted to eat that. The only thing I want you to consider is just making your own gosh darn mac and cheese. Of course, this is a pretty common, typical recipe. I just want you to wake up to the reality of it all, okay? You wanna know what else is full of cheese?
Well, I have done a lot of mac and cheese on my channel, and I have not made my own yet, so that will be in my next mac and cheese video. Not this exact recipe, but me making my own mac and cheese. I've really enjoyed watching Joshua Weissman. He's a very amusing character on YouTube, and I can't wait to watch more of his stuff. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.